all occurred in the past 22 years, with 2015 to 2018 making up the top four. The concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere is higher than at any other time in the last 800,000 years. And the United Nations says this is the defining issue of our time. So this hour isn't about whether or not climate change is happening. We're talking about what we can do about it for ourselves and for our next generation as well, and the generations beyond. 81333. Start your messages with BBC. We can talk to Clare Andrews now, who's a former Green Party candidate from Newcastle, and she also started a petition calling for Newcastle City Council to declare a climate emergency, and she joins us this morning. Clare, thanks ever so much for talking to us this morning. Clare, what was it that pushed you to really do something and to make this kind of your life's work, really?
Good morning. Yeah, well, I'm really pleased to hear you say the word crisis, and for David to say that as well, because that's exactly how I feel. It was about the autumn last year when I'm a scientist. I'm not a climate scientist, but I started reading some of the news about the UN's scientists' reports on the climate. And I just got really scared. Before it was kind of, well, we can do a little bit here and a little bit there, and this is, really the crisis moment, the turning point, or it needs to be. And that's what really motivated me to kind of get serious about this and do something myself about it in a big way outside of my own life, and start that petition. Spent a lot of time standing out in the street in the cold with other people from the Green Party and from Extinction Rebellion, talking to local people.
What was the reaction, Clare? What was the reaction? And I'm just going to ask this straight outright. Was it mostly middle class people who read The Guardian who were chatting to you and saying, yes, I agree? Or did you have people that are from a more working class background, people who are not on as high incomes, people who might be thinking about what's on the table next for the next meal? What kind of people did you have coming to talk to you?
Absolutely everybody. We were kind of smiling at people and sort of, saying the words about climate, and lots of people from all different ages and backgrounds were coming to chat to us, and they were signing the petition. I wouldn't say there was really one kind of person who was interested in this.
And what, when you get people saying, oh, this isn't happening, we've had a couple of texts in. This one says, you're saying CO2 is higher now than the last 800,000 years, but the new scientist said it was higher 125,000 years ago. How do you talk to people who are still in denial that this is happening?
It's not something I enjoy doing. It's just the evidence is completely against them. All scientists of any credibility say that this is happening. If this was a medical treatment, I wouldn't ignore my doctor if they were telling me that I had, some terrible disease. So I think, what I say to them is the rate at which it's happening is faster than anything we've seen in history before. The rate at which carbon dioxide is going up and the rate at which we're seeing these extreme weather events and fires and floods and things. It's much higher than it's been before. And the problem is that humans have never existed in a world that's as hot as the one that we're headed for. So we don't know if we can. That's unprecedented in the whole of human history. That hasn't happened.
So crisis is the word.
A huge risk. Yeah, really crisis.
Clare, thank you very much for talking to us this morning. Much appreciated. We're going to dash over to